evening. I'd like to call to order the August 5th, 2025 Little Rock City Board of Directors meeting. We would like to welcome those that are in attendance as well as those streaming and viewing online. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Director Miller, Director Richardson, Director Webb, Director Peck, Director Hines, Director Lewis, Director Compuris, Director Phillips, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Wyrick, Mayor Scott.
Present. We'll now recognize Director Phillips who will give the invocation.
If we all will humble ourselves, God, we come together today from different paths, but with a shared purpose to make our city better. Guide our thoughts, our words, and our decisions, and continue to grant us unity and clarity in vision and in action. Amen.
Amen. Will you please stand for a pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members of the board, we have two modifications.
Mayor, I would ask that M1 be added to the approved items and M2 added as separate items.
And then a withdrawal of 10 as well.
M1 is a resolution, so it would need to go consent, not group.
Will do.
Consent.
Yes.
Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now have Kevin Howard just give a presentation on the micro home village. I know board members gotten a lot of information, but we'll go back over it.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Mayor, Board of Directors, City Manager. We'll bring up the presentation. Just want to give a brief presentation on the Little Rock Micro Home Village site grading for the change order. Reason one is safety and accessibility improvements, additional sidewalk and accessibility ramp for the Roosevelt Road to the community center, additional entries that was required. Also sewer line layout, additional Y fittings of around 2,000 linear feet. Additional sewer lines are now required, and also a main by Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority. And then curb changes needed for drainage correction and site aesthetics. And then fire access, we did speak to the fire marshal about initial driveway to come through the village just to make sure that they had proper access. And it's been modified to DR1 per RDOT. Originally went as a DR2, heavy fire apparatus access. However, RDOT has changed to standard access. And then on the next slide, these are the markups in red that was required by Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority, as well as the actual main and the sewer lines that's requested from north to south. We actually, on the original site plan, we have two mains that was that was actually east to west on the actual original site plan. As far as schedule impact, it's a minimal to no delay anticipation. We have had some rain delays in the previous month. And then also just summary, this will improve functionality, safety, and compliance necessary to comply with CAW, Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority, and RDOT. Cost effective compared to future modifications. Need to complete site grading to move the construction community center forward too as well. And then the next presentation, I'll wait and get the questions later. There was some other questions that was asked regarding the Little Rock Micro Home Village Community Center. I know some residents was asking about the difference in the community center and actually Parks and Recs Community Center. The community center concept will serve as a hub and provide a community space for unsheltered individuals and families to access case management, supportive, and wraparound services. and this will be on site at the actual microhome village. And just give you an understanding of where we have been and where we are right now as far as the point and time count that we do each and every year. Back in 2022, we counted 859 individuals, and then 2023, 73, and then the point and time count went down to 552. Now it's increased over to 400 individuals, and this is just in the Central Arkansas area. So we have an increase of homeless population in the city of Little Rock. Next slide show. And so just want to give you all an idea on what we see day to day as far as the homeless services division. That's one of the divisions under my department. So to date, we've seen over and engaged with over 1,000 individuals. This is to date, as of today in July. And well, not to date, but just in the past few days, in the end of July, we've engaged with over 1,000 individuals throughout the city of Little Rock. And that number has increased, and just think about it. We are just half of the year. So in previous years, we've seen over 3,000. We tend to pick up in the actual winter months because the city of Little Rock is one of the places where the unsheltered wants to come because they feel like we provide services to these individuals. And so they'll come from all over the country to the city of Little Rock, also to Fayetteville, Arkansas, too, as well, because they have services that they provide as well. So we'll see increased population over the next few months once it starts to get a little bit colder outside. One of the things that I'm proud of that we did last year, as the mayor stated, that we provided emergency shelter for these individuals. For 21 days, we sheltered these individuals that were out on the street. And so we were able to see and shelter over 600 individuals during that time period and able to feed them and keep them off the streets. We saved a lot of money besides putting these individuals in hotels. And this is the reason why we need housing for these individuals with the actual microhome village. So things that the community center would have, we provide array of services, wraparound services to these individuals. We have emergency shelter of 32 beds, 16 for men, 16 for women. We currently do not have an overnight shelter that the city of Little Rock has in their possession right now. We do Day Resource Center, which is at Jericho Way. We'll also have showers and bathrooms, laundry facility, case manager, and offices with a manager officer on site, training rooms, commercial kitchen and dining hall, security that would be 24/7, intake, a C-store, and a medical clinic on site. Also, we'll have a mental health room that they can go into if they have any problems. Next. Our timeline, currently, we bid out the actual community center. So we actually have site grading going right now on the site. If you've been by Roosevelt Road, you'll see it's a lot of construction going on. Anticipated date for site utilities. We're looking at completing those by the end of August. And then we're looking at start the community center sometime September, depending on contract negotiations and everything. And then the actual start of the microhomes will follow right after, looking at the end of September, beginning of October. And then we're looking at completion of the community center and the microhomes somewhere around the first part of 2026, the first quarter. Next slide show, and just have a short presentation of what it actually would look like. You can click on it. There you go. Now I'll take questions.
All right, Director Hines?
Thank you. Kevin, you and I already had a discussion on this extra sewer. So for the general public, because I've been getting a lot of questions, what was the reason that our design professional didn't catch this?
So originally, he stated that he provided information to Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority as far as the actual original site plan that was bidded out. And he assumed that the response that he got back, I think it was March before we had the bid out, that they was going to allow the two sewers that was actually on the site that was already there to tie the lines to. He said when he came back and got the final response back from Little Rock Water Reclamation Authority that they required additional sewer because they felt like the lines wouldn't hold the number of houses that was on those two mains that was currently on site.
I find it a little incredulous that we wouldn't have got quick response from water reclamation, that we couldn't have asked them, and the fact that a professional design engineer, a professional engineer couldn't calculate how much flow is going in, and that it was too much for the existing system. I'm very suspect of that, and that engineer came from our,
The RFP list that we normally have for.
so our annual list of.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I'll send you the emails that
That's
he
done through
provided
Public
to me.
Works?
Yes, it comes from, well, Public Works provide the list, but I think it actually comes from procurement.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Director Hines?
That's it.
Director Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. Director, I have a few questions. And so on the year-to-date services for homeless, appreciate that, that slide, but is there any information that you can share with us about how this compares to last year and year before last?
Yeah, so last year numbers, as far as the point in time count for 2024 was 552 individuals that was counted for the Central Arkansas area. And it's currently 973.
Okay. But the encounters, you had that slide that showed encounters.
Oh, yes. So last year, the number of encounters we had was over 3,000.
So, and that was for the whole year?
Yes.
Okay, so we're tracking on that. The cost, how has it increased? How much has it increased by, and where are we getting those funds?
Yeah, so the actual cost increase comes from the actual bid. Of course, construction cost has increased over the last year, and it's going to continue to increase based on what we see that's going around in the country as far as tariffs and those different things, because we are using steel to erect these structures. And then also wood too as well for the actual microhome. So cost is going to increase. That's why we want to try to get someone under contract as soon as possible. Over the past 4 years, you all have allocated funding to the microhome village through operation. Of course, we hadn't did any operation because we're still in the construction phase. So that amount plus the money that we was receiving through ARPA, that money that we didn't actually use at the end of December 31st, some of those funds were used to purchase, do any other services throughout the city of Little Rock. So we just interchanged those funds between ARPA and the general funds.
So we all know how much more that was?
Based on the bid, the original bid that we had was a little over 3 million. I think it was 3.5, and this one is at 4.1. The bid came at 4.1.
Okay, and we have identified the funds, so.
Yes.
The community center, that's just a micro home village's community center. That's not
Correct.
going to be open to the neighborhood or the public. Can't go in there and have meetings or community meetings. That's just for the micro home.
That's correct.
Okay. And my final question, a lot of unsheltered people have pets and they don't want to leave their pets. What type of provisions at all have we thought about for people who may want to come to the micro village? Can they bring their pets?
Yes, we do allow pets on the site. We do have kennels there too as well. Currently at the emergency shelter, we provide kennels for individuals that come in and need to house their pets there. We do allow pets to be next to them if they need be. We do provide kennels and food for them at the actual shelter.
So our animal village folks will be interacting with
Yes.
the micro village for people with their pets, and so if somebody has a pet, we're not gonna turn them around. They'll be able to bring their pet with them.
They have to have the legal allowed limit that we have in the city of Little Rock. They can't have no more than 4 animals.
Oh, somebody can bring 3 pets with them?
If they're allowed to have that amount,
Let's not share that.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just giving you the legal amount.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it, Mayor.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
not
go.
gonna ask any more
Let's switch to
questions.
another topic now. Just one thing before I go to, were you still going?
No, I'm through, Mayor.
Just one thing, I just want to just clear one thing up. The ARPA funds came in sometime in '21. We, as the city, did not allocate ARPA funds until '22. And then the initial groundbreaking was July of '23. Board members, I know sometimes a lot of things happen. We may not remember certain things. And so after we started the procurement process in July of '23, even though we went through the state procurement process to select a vendor, due to some recent law changes, we had to go back and start all over again. So that, in addition to other construction delays, is why we're here right now. So I just want to make sure we got the accurate timeline. Director Webb.
Thank you, Mayor Scott. And Director Miller asked a lot of the financial questions that I had. So we anticipate that the total is going to be 7 million.
Yes,
That's correct. And initially we thought it was going to be 5 million.
correct.
And my only other question is, when we were at the groundbreaking,
Yes.
we had folks there who we anticipated would do the day-to-day operations of the microvillage. And even though we haven't built it yet,
They're still the same person.
Yep.
okay, that was my
Nothing's
question.
Hasn't changed. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And we're
Yes,
Yes.
You should share.
and we're working with
And you
them.
should share. Aren't you on the board as well?
We,
These two.
we're working with them. We meet with them often too as well. We had a meeting with them less than 30 days ago about the microhome village.
Thank you. But they're going to be integral to this being a success, and we know the great work that DePaul USA has done. Director Peck.
And thanks for the presentation, Kevin. That helped. There's a lot of confusion in the public. They see community center, and I'm glad you've addressed that. So it's not really a community center in the way we know a community center. So that's helpful, and I know how to answer that question. I know about DePaul. We have a lot of faith and trust in them. How is this going to affect Jericho Way?
So Jericho Way would be a service provider that would send it would send actually clients over to the actual microhome. So they would do the actual initial case management services to these individuals to make sure that they're ready to go into non-congregated units. Of course, we will have people at the emergency shelter that they'll be able to bring through because they'll be working hand in hand with each other because they will be running the microhome village on a day-to-day operation. So they'll see people at the resource center. They may need needs to assist them to get to the actual emergency shelter. And then from there, they'll put them into the actual microhomes.
So case management will be happening at both locations.
Correct.
So remind me how much we contribute to Jericho Way annually
600,000.
Yeah.
in North Little Rock.
0.
They used
really? I thought North Little Rock used to.
Yeah, they stopped doing it.
Oh, yes, I remember that. I remember that now. Okay, thank you, Kevin.
All right, Vice Mayor Wyatt.
Thank you, Mayor. Kevin, you and I had a conversation
Yes.
regarding this in the last few days. One of the things that we talked about that was there'd be 202 people that would be staying in this location 6 to 9 months, and then 32 that would be like emergency type of situations for them to come in. So many men, so many women. You talked about the people that you touched in July, 1,049. Were any of these duplicate numbers? Would it be the same person more than once?
So these are different unique numbers. We don't, usually the ones that we touch, we don't count them over again. So these are different individuals that we touch.
And would the increase from last year to this year, would it be because we're moving people off of private property to other locations, and so that would attribute to the larger number this year than last year?
Yes, we have more staff. You all voted to provide more staff to the Homeless Service Division. Before we only had 2 people that were actually engaging. Now we have 5 that's out engaging with our residents, the unsheltered individuals that you see. We get a lot of requests. We've also provided on the website where people can actually put in requests or 311 system where they can let us know that people are encampment in these different areas around the city. So we are out and we can engage with those individuals a lot quicker than what we were doing in the past.
Okay. And I know this has probably been asked before, I think Director Webb did. This $7,147,576.91.
Yes.
I'm not sure where the 91 came from, but that is the final cost for this facility?
Yes, that's where we're currently at right now.
Okay, that includes the housing, the hub, community
So
operation?
even though you're saying 7 million, a lot of that funding came from the federal, a lot of that funding came from the federal government, such as the non-congregated units will be developed with home investment partnership program funds that came from ARPA. So those would develop the actual non-congregated units.
Okay, and have we paid DePaul anything so far for this village?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
All right.
All right, I think we've addressed all those questions and concerns. Any questions and concerns? All right, we'll now transition. What we'll do is we got a long consent agenda, which is always good. However, we do have a couple cards for the consent agenda, so I'm gonna go through the cards now rather than us go through the consent agenda first. So, Mr. Jake Bleed.
Good evening. I'm here to speak on behalf of the homeowners and the Property Owners Association, the Brody Creek Neighborhood Association. We're located off of South Bowman Road. Some of you might know us. We recently received a reward from you all for our neighborhood. We are here to speak and take advantage of this meeting tonight to express our concern with the proposed construction of a roundabout at the entrance to our neighborhood. I want to be clear in saying that tonight's item of business, we support completely the project. We support completely and are really grateful for the opportunity to see improvement along South Bowman Road, the willingness of the city to step up with the matching funds. We think it's great. However, when we look at where that roundabout will be placed, and in particular, how the traffic will flow around that corner, we have some significant concerns. Those concerns primarily are, it will, I believe, cut into our neighborhood. We have a lot of landscaping. We've spent a lot of time and money making that entrance look really nice. It will also require the movement, we believe, of a fair amount of utilities, plumbing. We've got all sorts of stuff in that area that will require movement under the current plans, as I understand them. We think that'll add significantly to the cost as proposed right now. And then finally, we would suggest that if we shifted the roundabout a little further over to the east, you would end up straightening out Bowman Road, and as a result, take out what we think is a pretty dangerous blind curve right now. I don't know if any of you have gone up Bowman, but if someone is turning left into our neighborhood and are stopped there, you have very little time to stop. Sometimes our neighbors tend to drive very quickly on Bowman Road, and it can be kind of dangerous. We think that by straightening it out, by moving the roundabout a little further away from our neighborhood, that would really help. That is really all I have to say. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I do appreciate having the opportunity to make sure that you all understand that we do have concerns with how those plans have been proposed.
Thank you. We'll now go to Mike Reed. Well, actually, hold on. Well, yeah.
Oh, he's modification too, I think.
But is this not on, is the M2 not on the consent? Okay, never mind. You can sit back down. All right, now we'll go to item 21. Cleophas? Just says Cleophas.
Right here.
All right. Mr. Cleophas.
Hey, how you doing? How are everybody tonight?
Doing well.
We're here being against the parking that's gonna go on 14th, 15th, and 16th and Hanger. They're gonna build some houses there, but the parking is gonna be located on the street. And we live in the neighborhood, and the neighbor, let me say this. Over the years, the neighborhood has gotten where it's growing. The traffic on College Street is tremendous. I work at nighttime. When I leave and get home in the morning, my way of getting back out of the neighborhood is going down Hanger, making that right where they are talking about letting these cars be parked. Once those cars get there, we got bus stops, and it's just gonna be a headache to get out of the neighborhood. So basically, we understand that is his property. That's his property. But build what you want to build, but let's not have the parking on the street.
Yes, sir.
That's an appeal, right?
That's all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Marion Berry? Marion Berry? Oh, I thought I'd. How you doing?
Good evening. I concur with my husband. The parking is going to be an issue. Build what you want to, but make sure that the parking is available inside the lot, not on the street. In the entire neighborhood, it's growing, and it's going to be a problem for parking if it's on the street.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Phyllis Hodges?
Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and all the amazing directors. I thank you all for allowing our group that's representing 1522 Hanger Street. We're here to ask you all to say no. If you can look in the audience, we have about 30 individuals. This is so serious. I stand on the word. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What do I mean by that? The matriarch, my mother, Rose Wright, is sitting right here. She's 87. She's been in the neighborhood for over 47 years. The issue with what's about to take place and how I need all of your help. In the neighborhood, we're not only looking at traffic issues, we're looking at parking. With the parking being an issue, we're looking at 4 tiny homes being built without driveways. In today's time, you really don't know how many adults or driving individuals will be living in a home. So you're looking at the streets. So just an example, if you have 2 adults living there and maybe some children that's young adults, we're talking about now 2 to 3 cars on the street that's already crowded. I want you to remember that. And then I want you to think about in the Hanger area, a lot of times there is bad traffic because of what's taking place. Youth not having a lot of positive things to do, so they're in the streets. They're all over the place. The police are literally on call on a regular basis. Look on your books here and find out how many times residents are calling the Little Rock police officers to travel that area. Now, suppose a senior citizen or a teenager or somebody have health challenges. So now you have your emergency system of ambulance or fire department trying to get down the neighborhood, and it's already congested. That's an issue. And then you look at me and my mom, we get up early every morning because I've been residing with her because of some health challenges. We're walking the neighborhood and cars are going extremely fast. This is serious, everybody. Your director of planning that was hired by the city, your commissioners of the planning commission all voted no. And I know they were hired because they're professionals. They know what they're doing. So with that being said, it's almost a no-brainer. We need your help. We are voters. We are citizens. We are taxpayers. Look at the signs. We're looking at young adults that took the time, made the time to come out here. And look at you all. We need your help. And I guess that's all I can say is, please consider your vote when you think about 1522 Hanger Street. I know about the city of Little Rock, and you all love all of us. Let's see it when you vote. Thank you.
Charlene.
Oh, and by the way, let me show you something. I got a petition. I'm going to leave this here with the assistant. Look at the petition. We have so many people in the neighborhood, but a lot of them couldn't make it. They signed this petition. I'm going to leave it here, okay?
Thank you so much,
again.
Ms. Hodges.
Thank you.
Ms. Charlene Riggs.
Hello, everyone. Me and my daughter, we live in the area. I'm born and raised from Anger Hill, still on my birth certificate and everything. This, as mentioned before with the other ones, we agree that it's not something that we would like or want in our neighborhood. We know that housing is a problem. There are the microhome villages that's coming available. There are apartment complexes that is available. 400, up to possibly 600 square feet is not a lot. Sheds are bigger than that are available for people to use. The main concern is, like as you've heard, is no off-street parking. That is a safety concern when you're talking about young families who have elementary kids that have to go to a bus stop. And I've heard before that it's safe. It is, there's no way it's safe for a bus to try to park and move around vehicles that are double parked on both sides of the streets. There's no way it's safer when a person can't see their vehicle because they're parked a block or two away, or even not even on the same name of the street that their house is on. It is not going to be, it's cost effective for the owner. It's cost effective for the investors who I know have flooded y'all's email boxes and everything else, but it's not cost effective for the residents in the city of Little Rock. The long-term cost is not there. 100K to 150K for 600 square feet, you can do the math to figure out how much that is per square feet. That is a lot. That's not cost effective with our minimum wage amount here in the city, in the state of Arkansas. Primarily, like I said, we don't want this. If other neighborhoods or areas want it, I'm sure they would gladly like it. I understand there's opportunity zone locations, and we are one of them, and we don't mind some help and assistance with building stuff. You know, having a small business district unit would be great, but no off-street parking in a place that hasn't had any road construction or repavement, that hasn't had any sidewalks redone or rebuilt for those people or anything else. It's incomprehensible to do that to a neighborhood when it is designed for single-family homes. Also, you have the ADUs that can be built in the area on those individual homes and lots that is coming up from the survey that the city put out. So we don't need no off-street parking. We have to have parking spaces. We have to have parking.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Margie Goodman?
Good afternoon. I'm Margie Goodman. My address is 1421 and 1423 Hanger Street. So I can see everything that goes on from my vantage point at the corner of 14th and Hanger all the way down to 1522. And so when you come into 15th, there is a lot of traffic going east and west trying to get to 630. And in the mornings, when the school bus comes, sometimes the kids come and sit on our porch when it's raining or things like that. But you can't see when street parking and school buses and Budweiser trucks and ambulances trying to get over to Garden Homes. It's just too much. And then to add 4 additional structures right there at 1522, it's already congested. So for us in the neighborhood, we are asking for help. Please, please help us because there is no way that it would be a safe issue for us. Thank you.
Thank you. And to the residents who just spoke on this item, I think you all are aware that it is, this vote is to have a public hearing, which will be on August 19th. So I just want to make sure, but you all signed up, you made your effort to come here. We want to make certain your voices were heard. But again, the vote that the board members will take is merely to have a public hearing. And so if the board members say yes, that doesn't mean they're voting for or against it. They're voting to hear more community voices on August the 19th. Everybody understand? All right, thank you. Director Phillips?
That's exactly what I wanted to say, Mayor. Thank you.
Director Pierce?
On the first item on Brody Creek, could we have somebody from the staff talk about that roundabout?
Good evening, and I can speak a little bit about the project. As the gentleman mentioned, tonight's agenda item is only for accepting or applying for federal funds to purchase right-of-way for that project. Yes, we have heard the concerns about the roundabout at that intersection. Our staff is more than happy to meet with the Brody Creek Property Owners Association to go over our revised design. We took some comments from them last year in May, and we are willing to go back and sit down with them because we've already made some revisions. Those revised plans were put on our website, but we found that they were not clear enough for them to understand what changes were made. So we'd like the opportunity to have another meeting with them to go over our design and address any further concerns, anything related to the landscaping that might be affected by the project, we believe can be restored, and there's ways to do that. So we will meet with them and address any concerns that they have. Yes.
You still have the floor.
But are you open if the two of y'all come together to move the roundabout? Or is where it is where it is, and the modifications are to their beautification and that sort of thing?
Where it is most likely where it is going to be. We've already moved it as much as we can. When we design roundabouts and streets, we follow certain design criteria that's required, especially this being a federally funded project. RDOT's reviewing those plans as well, and they've reviewed them and approved the preliminary plans. The plans are not fully completed. So the revisions that we've made so far, we believe have minimized the impacts to their landscaping. Some minor modifications can be made at this stage. We're not in final design by any means. In fact, we've not even had a public involvement meeting yet. The only meeting we've had is with the Brody Creek Property Owners Association. We understood that they had concerns and we made those changes. Since then, we've not had a chance to go back and meet with them again, and we'd like that opportunity to engage with them and get any other concerns answered.
Director Hines?
There's two roundabouts on this section, correct?
Yes, sir.
So there's one at Executive Center Drive,
That's correct.
and then there's one at Brody Creek.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a little less concern about the Brody Creek because I think the geometry there, but I think we need to work with the neighbors.
Mhm.
My concern is with the Executive Center.
Yes, sir.
So, and I don't know if you're aware, but the property owner that owns all three corners and that hillside offered many years ago to come in, do the work to get the road alignment the way it is on the master street plan.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are aware that we have not changed the master street plan in this area, and I brought this up to Tom, that if you insist on putting a roundabout there, it's gonna be a taking. And it's gonna be a very expensive taking if we insist on a roundabout at that intersection.
So we met with the property owner there and their representatives several months ago. Since then, what we've done is we've gone in and hired a consultant to do appraisals for that for the purchase of that right of way, and hopefully we'll have that information and we'll have a meeting again with them very
And
soon.
I can tell you our appraisal will be wrong, and Tom knows why. We have already paid the Vogels. If it's not $1 million yet, it's close to it on several takings of this nature. You have a property right that's instilled in our master street plan. I don't believe that that intersection is the right place for a roundabout. We should be aligning that roadway with the previous deal, cutting that hillside. He agreed to do it to trade right-of-ways to get contiguous properties. Now, this was before you, this was with John Honeywell and I think Steve Beck before that. And Dean's well aware of this intersection. So I really think, I don't want to hear that we're locked into this. I think that's what Dean's concern is. Because I think we are getting into territory and we don't know what the courts are going to decide, and we lose every time we condemn property in this manner, especially when we've got a property right. So that's just my thoughts on this matter. I'm going to vote no on this for the time being, because if you can't tell me with the certainty that we don't have some wiggle room to adjust the plans, then I'm not going to be supportive of it.
Well, I did not say that we have no wiggle room, and I was speaking specifically about the roundabout at Brody Creek. The one at Executive Center Drive also can be adjusted a little bit, perhaps. The other option would be, if this doesn't end up being feasible, we would revert to a signal or something else. We do hear your concerns. We will take everything under consideration, and we'll have more meetings and come up with whatever is the best. We have to look at the public safety and their interest also. So when we design projects, we look at intersections from that point of view. So we'll make sure that that happens.
Vice Mayor Ward.
Thank you. I just wanted to follow up on the roundabout at Brody Creek Trail. This is a beautiful landscaped entrance to their subdivision that has a pond. And in this roadway next to the pond, there's all kinds of electronics, there's pump systems, there's a lot of stuff under the ground. And I know you told me that whatever you destroy or tear up, then you'll come back and replace it. But I think until you know exactly what's in there, you can't say that it should be moved or it should not be moved. And that's where the concern is. It's not, obviously they don't want the landscaping, the median to be damaged, but their big concern is what's already in the right of way, the electronics, how the pond is set up, the barriers that are going to be put in there, and those kinds of things. So I'm glad that you want to meet with them, because they want to meet with you. They're pretty smart individuals, and they've looked at it, and they believe that if you move the roundabout some toward the east, you straighten up a blind curve both directions. And so I just want to say that that's a key point with them, is what's under the ground and what you don't know about, because you haven't done utilities, you haven't done any type of location for all that stuff. So it might be more beneficial to the city to move. And for you to say that you don't think it's going to move, I mean, that's kind of a red flag for me. I think possibly we need to sit down and talk. We need
Sure.
to see what's in there before you say it won't move.
From a design standpoint, there's only certain things that can be moved. When you design a roundabout, all the legs have to align in a certain way. You have to accommodate for traffic movements coming in and leaving, different types of design vehicles and such. So we have moved it significantly to the south and a little bit to the east. So I shared earlier this afternoon, I shared an
Hey,
email
Manish,
with you.
I think it's just, let's just make sure the board knows this. This vote is to state that we want to pursue funds. We gotta first win the funds from the federal government anyway. Staff will sit down and work with the community on it and then come back to the board before any application is made, and then we'll make that decision. Okay?
Yes, sir. And that's,
I thought we had the funds already. They were already
it was
approved.
approved 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're already
Oh, it just got approved?
We,
Yeah.
we have the
So
funds, so
this
we
is a
do need the board's
formality.
vote to accept the
Yeah.
funds.
This is a formality to approve the 700,000 for the grant.
And these funds are
Grant.
specifically for right-of-way and utility accommodation. So this, what we're discussing right now is a specific issue that's related to that. So yes, we don't know what utilities are there at that intersection. We have made several design changes to reduce the impacts. When we meet with the POA, we do need to discuss those things. And then as we continue with the design, we'll make sure that those things are all accommodated and answered.
Yeah, ask them if they had schematics, and they may have them someplace that would help identify where the stuff is. I know you got to locate it, but at least you would know what's under the ground that you don't know right now.
Yes,
So I appreciate that. Thank you.
thank you.
Director Lewis?
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Manish. I was just wanting you to clarify, and Mayor already did a great job on that. We're voting to accept funds, but before any work is done, we have time to have everybody at the table to discuss specifics, make changes that are needed citywide and especially the neighbors. So
Yes.
I just want to put that out there that this is just about the finances.
It's only the finances related to purchase of right-of-way, easements, like temporary construction easements, and any kind of utility relocations.
Yes,
It's not for the construction of the project.
right. We have time for that to get that all fleshed out.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it.
There's plenty of time for that.
Director Pierce?
And you're exactly right, but my problem is exactly what Lance said. I was in a meeting where the people tried to give us this right of way for this, and we turned it down. They brought up the alignment of the road and how to do it, and we didn't accept it. And I think we're making a mistake. So we're gonna vote on taking funds to buy right of way that we could have been given before. And I would suggest that we go back and look at the whole project with the two roundabouts. And I'm gonna make a motion to table this for 2 weeks, to give you 2 weeks to come back and bring us some other thoughts. We've got the funds.
So
Manish?
if I may say this, what we've estimated is in the worst case scenario. When this thing gets worked out, and if we make changes, whatever we spend for right-of-way acquisition is going to be lesser than what we're asking for. So I think like we've made significant progress on this project. As you all know, we don't have capital funding for any projects except when we get bond funding. So when we try our best to use the public's monies in a way that benefits them. So what we try to do is we try to go after funding for projects through MetroPlan and through RDOT. We've already put in a lot of effort and a lot of time and resources into the design of the project. This is the next logical step in that direction. And voting yes for this is not going to jeopardize any final design.
Yes, sir, I know that, but it's not time sensitive. We have the money, and I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to see if there's anything else we can do to talk to these other people and to listen to what Lance has said with these other people. So I'm gonna make my motion that we table it for 2 weeks.
Manish, is the time sensitive with RDOT?
I don't think so, but we've already received funding. This is just a formality. If the board votes no, we have to give the monies back. The project will be tabled.
I didn't, wait a minute, I didn't say give the money back. I said,
He's just sharing with everybody. It can be tabled. At the end of the day, we don't have the money to do the project in the first place. We, the city. Staff went out and found some money. Clearly, there's a lot of discussion that needs to be had with the neighborhood associations. This vote that's on the consent agenda, that no one, brought this type of questions last week, is merely saying, because we've already accepted the funds, I'm sure we had to vote on that. I can't remember when we ever did, or at least we did for the application piece. However, we can table it, but for everyone to understand, there's still engineering background that goes with this. And so what all Manisha's sharing with you is, this is what has to happen. We can wait 2 weeks, that's fine, but we'll still be in the same place because this is not dealing with the design, this is dealing with right of way. So
and I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I think that there's questions that if it's not time sensitive, we have the money, that if we take 2 weeks, we're acting in good faith to look at this and to look at both roundabouts. And if you come back in 2 weeks and say, we've talked to RDOT, this is my best recommendation, I'm gonna vote yes. There you go.
Yes, sir.
But
No, all I'm saying is, at any point, if the board votes no to this and we never reach a consensus and say yes, then we no longer have funding to do any kind of right-of-way acquisition. Even if there's no roundabouts, we will still need to have a significant amount of money set aside for right-of-way acquisition and utility relocations. So all I'm saying is, if the board says no, we don't have the money to do it in-house.
But a motion to table is not a no.
That is not an issue. No, sir.
It's not a no. The 2 weeks is what's being asked.
Correct.
right, this, all I'm saying is take 2 weeks, look at this, and then bring it back.
Yes, sir.
And if you say, this is my best thing, I'm good, this is wonderful, this is what we're gonna do, this is what BJ's saying, these are the utilities, this is where we're gonna do it, I'm gonna vote for it.
Yes, sir.
Take 2 weeks.
Director
Will do.
Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor, and I understand the concerns from my colleagues. I just want to make sure we're clear on what's going to happen in 2 weeks. There was a conversation about neighborhood meetings and meeting with the residents. I don't think all that can happen in 2 weeks. So I just don't want us to get back here in 2 weeks and say, oh, you didn't talk to the neighborhood? You just talked to engineering folks, and then we're in the same situation. I'm okay with it, Manisha. I want to be clear, but I don't want it to fail either based on what you just said and based on what I'm hearing from my colleagues. There's a chance that it could fail. So I just want to be clear among us that in 2 weeks, he comes back with engineering recommendations and not necessarily neighborhood recommendations. Is that good enough for us? Otherwise, we're going to have the same conversation on August 19th.
In 2 weeks, we can certainly have public meetings again, specifically with the Brody Creek neighborhood and even with the West Rock property owners. However, like from a design standpoint, the roundabouts, the way they're designed, if it's going to stay as roundabouts, we cannot move it anymore. Now, if people don't like the idea of roundabouts, we can revert to another design, like a signal or a T intersection.
I'm just getting at that, and I appreciate your optimism, but trying to get a bunch of people scheduled within 2 weeks seems too optimistic for me to get it done and then be ready to present to us in 2 weeks. I'm not saying that's not the way to go. I'm saying if we want to meet with the neighborhoods, it's probably going to take more than 2 weeks, I guess is what I'm getting at, to give you more time to talk to people. Otherwise, we're just going to have the same conversation in 2 weeks. And that's why I just want to share with my colleagues. And I understand your point, Manish.
Director Hines.
Thank you. And I'm driving more at the first roundabout executive center. I think it's foolhardy that we've insisted on design when the property owner that owns all the corners, both sides of the road, owns the whole deal, has the existing right of way. If he's been willing to give it to us, if we change the design on that part, then, because I'm telling you, if we condemn the property, $700,000 is not going to be enough to get it all done. Because he's going to take 300 to 450,000. I promise you. We paid him $300,000 for loss of a left-hand turn when we did the Big Rock interchange. This is much more seismic than that. And to stand up there and tell me we have enough money when Tom, what will happen if we get into a condemnation? Tom's going to probably tell me, I'm going to give you this, that was a rhetorical question, is that we don't know what's going to happen. We could come out better, we could come out worse. I can tell you our track record with this particular property owner, we come out worse every time to the tune of almost $1 million, if not more, on at least two things I know of.
I hear your concerns.
That's my concern. And that's where, and I disagree with Director Phillips. I think 2 weeks is plenty of time. I'm sure that the Vogels will get together with their folks. The neighbors seem pretty motivated to get together to have a meeting. I think we can make it happen in the next 2 weeks.
We'll try to schedule those. But if I may also mention that I'm not suggesting that we have to go for condemnation. This is just for right-of-way, any kind of right-of-way related costs. I'm not making that suggestion that this is going that direction. We have actually met with the West Rock property owners and we've started the conversation. I was involved in that meeting and everything was cordial. And we made an agreement that both parties would go do, go get the properties assessed.
If I may,
1 second.
this is not a debatable motion.
Tom, Vice Mayor Wired, then.
Yeah, thank you. We had, the POA would be the ones that you would meet with from Brody Creek, and we had 3 members here tonight. I think they will stop, drop, and roll to sit down and talk to you about what's going on. It's that important to them at this intersection. So I think we can definitely meet with the POA at Brody Creek.
Director Miller?
I want to call the question.
And the question is the table item 2 for how many, 2 weeks? There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Item number 2 is tabled. There's a motion on the floor already to call for the tabling of item 2. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Table for 2 weeks. All right, Madam Clerk, you would do the consent agenda.
A resolution to express the willingness of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to utilize federal aid surface transportation program funds from Metro Plan for Canis Road improvements and for other purposes. A resolution to express the willingness of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to utilize federal aid carbon pollution reduction program funds from Metro Plan for Rose Creek trail improvements and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to amend the contract with Gene Summers Construction Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $55,000 for additional street reconstruction and relay of a sewer main for the West 10th Street Reconstruction Improvement Project and for other purposes, funding from the limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution to authorize the city manager to execute an agreement with Wagner General Contractors Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $73,844.40 for the 7th Street Bicycle Ramps Project and for other purposes, funding from the 3/8 capital improvement sales tax. A resolution authorizes the city manager to execute a supplement to the agreement of understanding and amend the authorized contribution to the Arkansas Department of Transportation for intersection improvements to Asher Avenue, Colonel Glenn Road, and University Avenue, and for other purposes, funding from the 3/8 capital improvement sales tax. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Tetra Tech Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $500,000 for debris monitoring related to the severe storms from April 2nd through April 22nd, 2025, in which FEMA declared a disaster, and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Motorola Solutions Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $233,992.80 for the purchase of 36 WatchGuard M500 mobile video recorder vehicle kits to outfit patrol units to support the needs of the Little Rock Police Department and for other purposes. A resolution authorized the mayor to enter into a 5-year lease agreement with the University Markham Holdings LLC in an amount not to exceed $10 for the Little Rock Police Department to maintain an office space within Park Plaza Mall in Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. A A resolution to amend the Little Rock, Arkansas Resolution Number 16,043, August 6, 2024, to authorize the city manager to renew the contract with Vines Media LLC, doing business as Vines Brookshire, in amount not to exceed $280,000 plus applicable taxes and fees to provide media and marketing services for the Little Rock Zoo and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Musco Sports Lighting LLC in an amount not to exceed $165,000 for the replacement of ball field lights and related supplies and services that were destroyed in the 2023 tornado at Reservoir Park and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Jerry Pate Turf and Irrigation in an amount not to exceed $160,000 for the purchase of 2 Toro Workman HGX sprayers for the Rebsamen and First Tee golf courses and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Adobe Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $78,246, including applicable taxes and fees for the renewal of the city's annual subscription and licensure for Adobe software products to support city business processes and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Comcast Business in an amount not to exceed $735,300 plus applicable taxes and fees to provide essential fiber infrastructure enhancements to the city and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Feed First USA in an amount not to exceed $109,050 to provide a day labor program to the residents of Little Rock, Arkansas in an effort to increase public safety and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Carson and Associates Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $4,381,300, including a 10% contingency fee for the construction of the community center at the Little Rock Micro Home Village located at 3405 West Roosevelt Road, Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes city manager to enter into a contract between the Little Rock Police Department and the Little Rock School District to renew the annual School Resource Officer Program agreement for the 2025-2026 school year beginning July 1st, 2025, running through June 1st, 2026, and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to approve a change order request with Redstone Construction Group Incorporated in amount not to exceed $222,678.52 for additional construction services, including road, undercutting, concrete, curb, and gutter sidewalk improvements, sewer service installation, and driveway access related to the Little Rock Micro Home Village project and for other purposes. A resolution to appoint a successor commissioner to fill a vacancy on the Board of Commissioners of the Riverdale EV District Number 134 of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. A resolution is set August 19, 2025 as the date of hearing on the appeal of the Planning Commission's recommendation of denial for a planned zoning development titled Orndorff Number 2 PDR located at 1522 Hanger Street in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Roberts McKnight in an amount not to exceed $115,580.40 plus applicable taxes and fees for exterior repairs to City Hall and for other purposes. That concludes the consent agenda.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now go to the citizens' communication. Mr. John Abdullah.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Board directors. My name is John Abdullah. I know this is not on your agenda for today, but it's concern of mine for Madison Heights. Okay, I know we have a problem, and I know you all didn't cause it, we didn't cause it. But what I'm trying to do is come up with a solution. And I know y'all had a vote, the first, yet to have heard anything on it, but anyway, what I'm trying to say, all of us out there is taxpaying citizens. So I know it's emergency fund for such thing, they're just considered an emergency when people's about to be took from their home. And I'm trying to find out why it's such of a problem when the investment that you make is not a loss. Ain't nobody ask you to give nothing. You're not losing no money. I sit here the other day when they had when y'all talking about the curfew, and over what, $4 or $5 million was allotted to parks and other stuff. So I mean, we talking about homes, people home, and then later up here earlier was talking about homeless people and stuff like that, and the problems. Okay, then that's going to add to it. You know, you got elder peoples that the stress itself can kill them. People walk around day to day, won't know where they're going to live at, if they're going to have a place to stay. So, I mean, and like the Director Miller said, it's an investment. It's not no bad investment. You said it yourself. You know, ain't no one asking no one to own no apartment, to be no landlord. We asking for some help to secure our homes. Like what I've been hearing today, everybody else asking for some kind of help for some security of their homes. But we are to the point where we about to get a foreclosure. What's that, 90 days? We don't know what's going to happen within. You know. So why, I mean, we taxpaying citizens and everything else. Why we can't, you know, get the help from the city? You know, we're not asking y'all to come out your pocket and don't get your money back. You know. So, I mean, that's what you say. You're for the city. That's what you were voted in for the city, for the people, to put the citizen of the city. We are all the citizens. And we asking for you all help. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand that just a job that you say you partake to help your citizens. That's what I'm asking for.
Thank you, Mr. Dooley.
Thank y'all.
Ms. Queena? Can Joe or somebody help? Abdul? Abdul? I always call the IT guy. How about we just turn it off? Oh, okay. Now coming back from executive session. We're now coming back from executive session. We'll read those. The city board voted, recommended, let me gather myself on that one. Age-friendly commission, Bonnie Allen, Wendelin, and Caleb Conrad. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Board of Adjustment, Brian Self. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. City Beautiful Commission, Dustin Davis. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Little Rock Port Authority, Stan Hastings and Tracy Riddlemeyer. All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Little Rock Sustainability Commission, Christopher Tyler Burks. All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Oakland Fraternal Historic Cemetery Board, Carla Coleman, Rita Benefield Hennard, Jane Spikes, and Kay Tatum. All those in favor, please say aye. All those say nay. Ayes have it. Racial Cultural Diversity Commission and Agnolia Gay. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Rock Region Metropolitan Transit Authority Board of Directors, Rachel Cotner. All those in favor, please say aye. All those say nay. Ayes have it. Little Rock Parks and Recreation Commission, Cannon Fletcher, Christopher Kemp, Mabel Regina Knight, and Cameron Kuhn. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now go to the second reading.
Mayor, before you go to second reading, M2, which was put on the agenda tonight, an ordinance dealing with ADUs. During the break, we were able to determine that some language is not in there that needs to be, so we'll just put that on the agenda for the 19th.
Great. Well, not great, but all right. We can still have those individuals speak if the board wants those to speak. We'll make sure you'll speak. All right. We'll now go to second reading.
An ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source contract with Med Engineering LLC in an amount not to exceed $146,546 plus applicable taxes and fees to purchase 3 EOD N9 bomb disposal suits for the Little Rock Fire Department's bomb squad, utilizing state Homeland Security grant program funding to declare an emergency and for other purposes. An ordinance to authorize the demolition of 6 severely dilapidated residential structures that can constitute as a public safety hazard, to appropriate funds to pay for such demolition and for other purposes. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to dispense with the city's competitive bid requirements, to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Tyler Technologies Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $113,229.49 plus applicable taxes and fees for the renewal of the annual software subscription and maintenance services contract for the city's data hub, to declare an emergency. Second reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
Second. There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source contract with Med Engineering LLC in an amount not to exceed $146,546 plus applicable taxes and fees to purchase 3 EOD N9 bomb disposal suits for the Little Rock Fire Department's bomb squad, utilizing state Homeland Security grant program funding to declare an emergency. An ordinance to authorize the demolition of 6 severely dilapidated residential structures that constitute as a public safety hazard, to appropriate funds to pay for such demolition and for other purposes. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to dispense with the city's competitive bid requirements, to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Tyler Technologies Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $113,229.49 plus applicable taxes and fees for the renewal of the annual software subscription and maintenance service contract for the city's data hub, to declare an emergency. Third and final reading.
Mayor, before you vote, it's been brought to my attention that one of the houses for condemnation is a contributing structure within one of our historic districts. I'm not asking you to take it off, but I wanted to let the board know that we will meet with housing on that before we proceed with the condemnation, to see if there's anything that can be done.
Yes, sir.
Which house is that? Which house is that?
The one on Ringgold Street.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, with the caveat from the city attorney.
We, in 22 and 24, have emergency clauses.
Is there a motion? There's a second. Second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read item 25.
A resolution to authorize the city manager to amend the contract with HNTB Corporation in an amount not to exceed $712,441 for additional engineering and design for the Clinton Presidential Park Bridge Protection Cell Replacement Project and for other purposes.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would please read item number 26.
An ordinance to authorize the issuance of a promissory note to provide short-term financing under Amendment Number 78 to the Arkansas Constitution for replacement of a bridge protection cell in the Arkansas River, prescribing other matters pertaining thereto, to declare an emergency and for other purposes. First reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to authorize the issuance of a promissory note to provide short-term financing under Amendment Number 78 to the Arkansas Constitution for the replacement of a bridge protection cell in the Arkansas River, prescribing other matters pertaining thereto, to declare an emergency and for other purposes. Second reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to authorize the issuance of a promissory note to provide short-term financing under Amendment Number 78 to the Arkansas Constitution for the replacement of a bridge protection cell in the Arkansas River, prescribing other matters pertaining thereto, to declare an emergency and for other purposes. Third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had 3 readings. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We have an emergency clause on this item. Is there a motion? Second? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now hear from residents on M2. Mike Reed. Should be on your computer if you don't have it.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. I reside on Vista Point subdivision, 23 Mountain Vista, and here a few months ago, y'all denied Zone 4, or the rezoning our neighborhood to Zone 4 for multi-use houses. And we have a builder has already started clearing the lots, and he has plans to build duplexes that y'all have already denied that. He's cleared 10 lots, and I just want to know, how is he circumnavigating the board after y'all denied his request for rezoning?
During this portion, we don't go back and forth from that. We'll have to get the planning director and bring him up.
Okay.
Later.
But that's all I got. I just want to know how. And also for the ordinance, where do you get a copy of the ordinance to read for the M2?
It's that one's brought by the. Is that the one?
That's the one that you've delayed till the 19th.
Right. It's online.
It's online now? Actually, there's one online, but it's going to be slightly changed and will be out tomorrow.
So it got added at the last minute. That's the reason why, but it's been changed to August the 19th. We're not voting on it tonight.
Okay.
All right.
That's all I have.
But I want to be clear to them though, Mayor, you can, when it's finished, you can go to littlerock.gov and see the ordinance that we're going to vote on.
Okay.
Ms. Shelley Reed.
My name is Shelley Reed, and I live at 23 Mountain Vista Drive, and that's in the Vista Point subdivision in Alexander. Of course, I know now you're saying that we'll be back the 19th to discuss this again, but I do have some concerns, and I'm trying to find out how, I guess, this can be avoided, because, like Mike just said, the developer has started clearing 10 lots. Well, he's almost completed with 8 of them before he skips to the 2 in the front of the division. I'm not sure about permits. I mean, that's not going to be a secret. But when he goes in and he has clear cut all of that, and I'm talking large trees that have been around forever. We are on a mountain and our slope is almost straight down. So I just can't help but believe this has to have some type of effect on erosion. It's going to have to. But he was just allowed to go in and clear what he wanted to. I don't know if he had to apply for a permit. He chose not to, and it's just been ignored before by other divisions, because I know we're not the first division he's done this in. But we really feel that someone needs to be taking a look at that, because if houses below start flooding, then you're gonna have more complaints than just our concerns that we have right now. Again, with the ADUs, which I know you all have to figure out this ordinance, per the state law, and I'm sure you all have a copy of it by now because I'm sure you're hearing it every day. There was a typo, so the sponsors of the bill have told me, of course, it was signed into law, so there's nothing that can be done at this point. But it should have said the ADU can be no larger than 25% of the main house or 1,000 square feet. They reversed that and they put 75%, and it got signed into law. When they told me, I told them they needed to hire me as a proofreader because I could have done a better job than that. I think I would have caught the difference in 25% and 75%. The developer's plans that were provided to me, maybe he's revised them, I don't know. But he plainly, and I have a copy of those here, I don't know if you all have them or not, but he calls them Unit A and Unit B. Unit A is just over 1,900 square feet. Unit B is 1,150 square feet, which already exceeds the 1,000 square feet. He has 2 driveways, 2 entrances. This is not a home like one of us already have, and we're gonna go in and modify so that our parents or our grown children can have a place to live, to get back on their feet, or because they need, medical assistance. This is being built with the intention of renting to 2 different groups of people. That, no matter what anybody wants to use for language, that is a duplex. An accessory dwelling unit should be just that. It's an accessory to the main dwelling unit. It should not be designed to come in and just be a duplex. And that is exactly what he's trying to do. And I'm not sure what needs to be done to put a halt to that, a freeze on that, until this ordinance can come through and is voted on. But the way he is moving forward on everything else, I wouldn't be surprised if next week we didn't start seeing the next phase. So something needs to be decided tonight to freeze what's going on. Then on just a little bit separate note here, our subdivision is classified as a private street. With the equipment that his contractor is using, they are taking that equipment across the street. Well, the city of Little Rock has told us, with us being private, that any type of repair that has to be done on our streets, that falls back to us. But what I want to know, and I have pictures that I took and printed out, but where he has taken that equipment from one side of the street to the other, there is a crack now in the asphalt that goes the whole width of the street. And then where the equipment, whatever on it, has dropped down, now we have large dips, large gouges in the asphalt itself. So I need to know who's going to be responsible for that, because that's quickly going to become a pothole. That's not anything we did. That is a result of this development. So does that fall back to the developer? Does it fall back to the contractor? Or are we going to be stuck trying to dodge potholes or pay for them? So I just really hope that all of this is taken into consideration when you reword the ordinance. I haven't read it, so I don't know what wording was left out of it. But I really, really hope that you take all of that into consideration, because this needs to be resolved once and for all. So if you don't have any questions for me, that's
No,
all I
Ms.
have.
Reed, but what I may do is provide some clarity, just a little bit, just so everyone's aware, and, so I'll extend this privilege and kind of going a little off as folks are coming. I believe there's been a stop work order put in place today by our staff to that construction development, so we issued a stop work order. What's before us today right now is, new standards that were imposed by the state legislature for ADUs, and that's all it is. But as it relates to your specific development, what's going on there, there may be some legal challenges, or whether it's a duplex or ADU, that's more from a state standpoint. We'll figure that out, and a lot of that's gonna happen between now and the next 2 weeks, so hopefully we'll provide some more clarity for you there. But we're only having this ordinance because it was imposed upon us by the state. And as it relates to what that person may be doing, whether it's legal or illegal, that's gonna take our city attorney. And also, again, it was imposed by the state. And so then we have to figure some different things out from a legal perspective, because if we impose what we think we can impose, but they say it is an ADU, even though it probably really is a duplex, that's a whole nother legal strategy. So give us some time. That's the reason why we're taking to August 19th. In the meantime, we've done the stop work order. If they start working again, let Mr. Jordan know, and we'll do another stop work order. So for those who are coming to speak about that, we're on it. There's a stop work order in place.
Okay. When you say if they determine whether it's a duplex or an ADU, are you referring back to the state?
What we're saying is the state has imposed ADUs. That's the law as of
Right,
Monday.
because I have lots of
And-
representatives and senators that I've contacted, and I have those emails from them, so I'm sure they'll provide the
And
same
so,
thing to you all.
because we're a property owner state, if they build it, it's gonna take someone to challenge that, and then you get into a legal process after that. That's all we're saying. Just give us the 2 weeks to get a little bit more information but in the meantime, for your direct issue, there's a stop work order to put in place.
Okay, that's good, because we thought it was put in place this morning, but he continued on until about 3:30 today, so.
And if he did, then we'll come back out there and keep finding them.
But we'll see what he does in the morning.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, does everyone still want to share, or want to keep going? Teresa Lynn?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Of course, I live on Mountain Vista as well as the Reeds and everybody else. I was able to find something on the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code, Volume 1, Fire. And it states that developments of 1 or 2 family dwellings where the numbers of dwellings unit exceeds 30 shall be provided with 2 separate and approved fire apparatus roads. As you know, up on Mountain Vista Drive, Vista Point, there's only one way into our subdivision and one way out. And with him building duplexes, whatever you want to call it, the 10 lots that he's already got cleared, if it goes through, that's going to be more than 30 dwellings on our neighborhood. We have one way in, one way out. That is it. If a fire takes off, the road is going to be congested as it is. And we're going to have issues getting out. And I do have a copy of that if y'all would like a copy of that. But it will become an issue.
Is that a copy of the private road?
It's from the fire prevention code.
We've got that.
That's all
Mayor,
I
it
have.
might help that not only do we have a stop order, but they can't get building permits, and we've already raised certain of these issues.
Yep. Agreed.
Thank you.
Amanda Hope?
I would just like to say I defer with everything everyone has said. So I stand with them and just want more clarification of the ordinance, so we'll know what it is that we need to do. And the board has already denied this twice. We've come before the board twice for the rezoning, and it has been denied twice. And here we are again. So I just stand with the people in my community. Thank you.
Paul Dotz, Mr. Paul Dotz, I think he may have left. I've still got a few more people. Did you have a question? Yeah, still got people. Mr. Paul, Judy,
Mr. Dodds was about the property that it's on this one.
Ringo. Okay,
Ringo.
awesome.
Yeah.
Judy, I can't, Smith? Is there a Miss Judy in here? All right. And Ms. Wells is left. Vice Mayor Wyatt? No. There you go.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the help. I needed it. The folks that have come to you tonight on Mount Vista are the same. It's the same location where we had an application a while back where it was, he wanted to put in duplexes, and the Planning Commission and the board both turned that application down. And it appears that that's what he's trying to do again. They brought up the fire issue. They brought up the entrance in. They brought up the fact that there's work going on, there's not been permits issued, and they're on a ridge. And so we know there's gonna be runoff and problems with that, so that needs to be taken care of. The other issue that is outstanding is, and I know you remember the mayor, Mike Kemp, that was here when they were here, and he talked about a storage tank that holds water that is not large enough to take in multiple family units on this piece of property. There's plenty of water, but it's gotta be pumped up a hill. It's gotta have a pump, it's gotta have storage, and they own the pump. Shannon Hills owns the pump and the storage capacity, and he says there's not capacity for this subdivision to go in with multifamily. So I wanted to bring that up as an issue as well. There is language in, I don't know what's gonna be changed, Mr. Carpenter, but there is language here that says an accessory dwelling unit shall not be erected or occupied before the primary single-family dwelling is erected on the same parcel or lot, unless approved for temporary use during construction by the Director of Planning and Development. So I think that takes care of the concerns that we have at Mount Vista. I don't know if that's what you're gonna take out. I hope not. I like it.
What the ordinance does essentially is put the statutory definitions in, and then we have a provision, and this is what was left out. People have gotten variances on setbacks for garages and things of that nature. We have a provision that says if you want to put an accessory dwelling in that space, it's been given a variance because it's a garage and not impacting on the adjoining property, it's not an automatic. Not only do you have to do all the things to be an accessory dwelling, but you're basically gonna have to go back and ask for that variance again as a residence.
But this particular statement stands. You're not dealing
No,
with that at all.
and one thing that has got us, where the staff met on this to some detail. There's also language in the statute that says that it's not trying to undo any regulatory actions. I read that to mean R2 does not allow for duplexes. And the accessory dwelling includes dwellings that are detached, that are within, and that are detached from the major dwelling. Well, you know, it's one thing to say that it is a small residence that was been there historically. It's another thing to say we're really making it a whole different classification of home. And that's what the ordinance is striking.
It's online now.
Director Hines?
Thank you. Tom and Mayor, there's something that is, breached its head on, one of the consequences on the removal of our ETJ authority. So out on Canis in 2 different spots and several other places in the city, we have areas where the county-city line hopscotches back and forth between the road. So right now on Canis, just behind Splash Car Wash, a piece of property that was barely developable for commercial was cleared, and they are erecting 3 billboards within, 100 feet of each other, 2 large ones, and I hear there's 3 more going up on Canis just past Costco. We don't have any authority. I'm on good understanding that the county could possibly take some actions to regulate these billboards, but, I could have understand one, but the fact that they're putting 1 small and 2 large ones, and they're literally within a strip of 250 feet along Canis. Pretty egregious, some of the remnants of that, but I think it would be worth our while to reach out to our county counterparts, those of us who know JPs, the county judge and ask them if they would try to help us in regulating these billboards, or we're gonna have, I think we've got a couple wildcatting deals. I would also like, if somebody could reach out to the representative with Lamar and have him call me. If I've heard through the grapevine that Lamar is one of the entities doing this, and I will take a very dim view of Lamar wanting to do any other billboards within this city, or if they would like to continue to keep the current billboard licenses they have, may be difficult going forward. But I would like to talk to them to make sure that they're not one of the parties that's proliferating these pretty unsightly billboards. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have talked to Senator Mark Johnson, so he's aware and taking some action as well.
Director Peck? Yo, pressure.
Testing, I'll be so quick. Okay, I hear myself. I just really, Grant's gone, but Manish, Grant, David in Building Services, I cannot thank you all enough. Very good news. I've been to 3 fire stations yesterday, 1 today. We're making progress. Morale is good. We're on a roll. Joan and I are out there raising money, and they are so appreciative. I know you all inherited a cesspool, but please express my gratitude to your team. And also Kevin, John Jenkins has been so helpful lately. I've just really had some outstanding service from our staff in so many different areas. I just want to thank you all. That was less than 60 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't say anything about the billboards.
There's a motion to adjourn second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.